top, I wanted to stay with the top 5, but I have top 7 oracle decks I used in 2019, 5 of which surprised me. So, yeah. So I have oracle decks I revisited, and then I have oracle decks I obtained. Not obtained, but I already had them. Did I just say that? Oracle decks I've already had for a while and revisited because I had put them aside because I didn't resonate with them, and ended up being my favorites of the year. Also, oracle decks that surprised me, and the ones that I just love using all the time. And I couldn't leave. There's 7 of them because there's 2 that I couldn't just leave on my shelf because they looked at me and said, "Oh, you use this all the time. You're not going to feature us?" So, yeah, my decks talk to me. Well, let's go. All right. The first one that surprised me because it was, I think it was the first, it is the first independently produced oracle deck I ever purchased. And it just sat on my shelf for the longest time. It sat on my shelf since I purchased it because when I first got it, I got it because of the beauty of the art on the cards, but I didn't jive with the guidebook. And then I decided I'm gonna give them a whirl without the guidebook, and I totally jive with the keywords. And then I gave the guidebook a chance again, and I jive with them completely. I love these. They are the messenger cards, Guidance from the Animal Spirits by Sandra Kunz, a Canadian artist. And can I look this? Need I say more? I'm so happy I didn't pass these along. Although I wouldn't have known, right? That's the thing too. When you pass, if you pass along a deck that you don't resonate with, you're never going to know if you're going to resonate with it at a later date. So what you don't know doesn't make you obsessed. Love it. Of course, it's in my favorites of 2019, and this is one that surprised me because I really didn't know how much I was going to love it. Another one that surprised me, and this is no disrespect to Colette Baron-Reid, but I don't really jive with any of her other decks, any of them. But this one was created with Alberto Villoldo, and the art is by Gina della Grottaglia. Is the Mystical Shaman deck. Oh my god, I'm sorry people. This one by Hay House. Beautiful. My only issue with this deck is that you have to overhand shuffle because the cardstock is very stiff. It's very, But also now they've loosened up a little bit. When I first got it, it's that matte cardstock that kind of clumps when you try to. But the artwork and the subject matter is totally my jam, people. Totally. I do not identify myself as a shaman, but my practice is extremely shamanic, including with walking between worlds and everything like that. This is totally, this tugs at my heartstrings like a past life kind of thing, previous lives, whatever. This is, I typically don't need to use the guidebook for it, and that's because I've studied a lot and read a lot about, it's very South American, Central American. It runs very parallel to the Toltec wisdom that I read a lot about in Don Juan's books. No, Don Miguel. Don Juan is, yeah. Castaneda, yeah. Anyway. But the artwork in here is so cohesive because it's one artist. Gina de la Grottalia is just freaking brilliant. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And when I do use the guidebook, I read the medicine. That's where the gold is for the guidebook of this book, of this deck. And I got the perfect Peggy bag for it. Not sponsored, just obsessed. Okay. The next one that surprised me. Okay, so when I don't remember, I do remember, I got this deck in 2018. I was watching Kellyanne Maddox, and it was her winter solstice, a winter solstice video. And she had the winter solstice card from this deck, and it's Earth Magic. And I just love nature. No. Yeah, period. But when I saw that card, I thought, oh my god, I need this deck in my life. So I ordered it. When I looked through it, there were like some weird cards that were not nature. This is not a nature landscape. This is not a nature landscape. Neither is this. And I thought, oh, I don't know. This is not nature. But it's one of my favorites, and I'll tell you why. I pulled it out sometime in the spring, and I worked with it alongside Tarot of the She, and although they don't look anything similar in terms of art style or subject matter, okay, maybe some there's some overlap, but not really. They worked beautifully together. The messages I received are so profound. I love this deck. Now, I've never read the book. Stephen D. Farmer also has a book, Earth Magic, where basically the cover looks like the guidebook. I haven't read the book. If you've read the book and you have these cards, and if there's more in his book than there is in the guidebook, let me know, because I'm on the lookout in case I see it at the used bookstore, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it to purchase the book because I'm afraid that, it's going to be a letdown. All right. The next one also surprised me, and in a previous video I talked about my favorite tarot decks of 2019, the ones I worked with a lot and really enjoyed and got a lot from. And one of them was the Osho Zen Tarot, the oracle deck that I worked with alongside this, also inspired by an older video by Kellyanne Maddox. It is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart, for the Heart. It's an oracle deck. It's basically, and it follows the tarot structure, except I think there are no tens. I can't remember what else there's. No, there's no court cards. That's what it is. So you have cards in here that match the major arcana, and then for minor arcana you only have 1 through 10, ace through 10. You don't have court cards. Visually, I did a video about it. Visually works beautifully with the Osho Zen Tarot. And really, really worked well together with Osho Zen to give me very, very informative, profound, on-point readings. So much so that I attempted to get the Oracle, the Tao Oracle, by the same artist as the Osho Zen, Madeva Padma, and I just didn't connect with it. And I think it's because I bonded with this oracle with my Osho Zen. 6 months. 5 months, sorry. This was out for 5 months and it was used daily. That's insane when I think about it, because that's a lot of usage. And it's funny, when I put it away at the end of May to use something else, right? Just to change it up a little bit. And also because I've had a bit of a year, people, and I didn't want to be, I needed something fresh to look at in terms of images, cards, different voice for what was going on. And it almost ended up in the giveaway box. It's so weird, right? It's like, I have to stop doing that. For a while it sat in the purgatory basket. It almost ended up in the giveaway box, and then I thought, whoa, no, just relax. That's a whole other video, but short story is I pulled everything out of my purgatory box and put it back on my shelf. Because I sometimes have moments of insanity which make no sense. This mass-produced, everything here is, except for the messenger cards. But if you're in America, it's Canadian dollars. It's almost free. Okay, I exaggerate, but the American dollar's strong and ours is not, and it's worth it. Okay. This has that nice, soft, not soft, but like smooth, it's not sharp kind of gilding on it, this is like a really inexpensive, affordable, whatever you want to call it, mass-produced deck. And I don't know, I get a lot of maybe because it's in my favorite color, I don't know. Green is one of my favorite colors, I guess you could tell from the wall. I have the same colored wall in my bedroom. Okay. Yeah, you know that about me now. The next one is a recent acquisition that I love. And I've done a flip through recently about it, and it's this one. This one blew my mind. This one has only 29 cards in this deck. But as someone eloquently stated in the comments of the flip through I did for this, since I get so much from one card in terms of depth of reading and guidance and just spiritual message, 29 cards, that's more than 2 years of one card per month, because literally since I got it, I've only worked with 2 cards. This is not a deck, this is not an oracle that I turn to for daily, because just daily I look at the card I pulled at the start of the month and I get something new from it. This is a dark horse, my friends. This is widely available and affordable, and if you have any interest in earth-based spirituality, beautiful. I'm going to show you some of the cards because I can't help myself. The guidebook, the back of the cards, a lot of people don't like this, and I'm me included, but I've made exception. I have 4 oracle decks that I've made exceptions for that have writing on the backs instead of just plain backs, and it's because they work. And the art is by Robert Taylor, brilliant artist, conveys so much in his artwork. And the back of the cards do have a write-up, but the guidebook has more, plus the artist's contribution to the write-up. Beautiful. I can't even, people. I can't even. This replaced the Weaver's Oracle for me. I loved the Weaver's Oracle, but I had a very difficult relationship with the guidebook. So I used the Weaver's Oracle, I used the images a lot, and then I decided it needed to go to someone who would appreciate it more. So off it went. It's probably still in transit. I don't know. But this replaced the Weaver's Oracle for me. This for me is what I wanted the Weaver's Oracle to be. And it is. Wow. I'm so happy. It was Patsy. And I think a Mystical Musings by Patsy, I think is her channel name now. I'm not sure. It was her review. If she hadn't shown this, I wouldn't even have known it existed. So I'm so happy. And my two, I call them honorable mentions, whatever. It's the two decks that said, where are you going without us? Because you're constantly using us. The first one, this is the first bag I ever created for an oracle or tarot deck because it needed one. Excuse me. These bastards. Of course. Now I have been, I did receive Heart of Fairy from Natalia Doroboros. She lent me her copy so I could compare the two. Whoa. And I will be recording a video once I know what it is exactly I want to say about them. Also, I need to have time because these are like fast and dirty videos you could do, right? I'm sharing my favorites, but the comparison video between Heart of Fairy and this one, I don't want to do a fast and dirty. Oh, look, the pictures are different and the readings are, I want to go a little in depth, or at least tell you some stories about the readings I got from either one of them. What I've done is I've taken some questions or some things that I've been mulling over, have been bothering me for, let's say, some of them go way back to even like the 80s, where I compared what these guys had to say about those situations and what Heart of Fairy, those guys, had to say about it. And let me tell you, there's a difference. There's a significant difference. And geez, like why Heart of Fairy went out of print so quick is craziness. I don't know. I think they are both beautiful and valuable and completely different voices. All right, I talked too much about this one because, I have to leave something for that video that I'm recording comparing the two. And the last one was my first extreme modification job I ever did. And this is the bag I made for it. And it is my Sacred Path cards by Jamie Sams. Rebacked them because the backs were sun bleached. These were when I received these, they were secondhand, very well loved. The backs were sun bleached. I freaking love them. I rebacked them, and then I think I had trimmed the outer black border off, and then I rebacked them, and I didn't like how you could feel the contact paper when you reback cards. If you've done it, it's best to reback a deck that you're going to trim the borders off, because then you get a nice clean edge. I love these. These if you buy them like brand new, they have very flimsy cardstock, and they're half the cards look like this. And with the backings, it doubled the thickness of the deck. I did a nice black edge on it, and also it added a nice weight to them. I could riffle shuffle them easily, but it added a really nice weight to them, which, tactile people, tactile. All right, that's it for me for my top 7. Oh, and I guess I should have talked. I only talked about like the cosmetic aspect of this deck. This is a very profound and sacred deck. This one, of course, both Jamie Sams decks that Oracle decks that I have, I use the guidebook with, and they have brilliant, brilliant guidebooks. But this is just, this is my favorite oracle deck when it comes to this subject matter. I have a deep, deep connection with this subject matter. I guess it's because I have a deep, deep connection to the land where I was, where I was born. I have a deep, deep connection to North America, the land itself, and I've always, always resonated with North American spirituality. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Anyway, notice I have to be careful. I have to be careful with the language because I don't know. In Canada we say one thing, in America they say something else. Here in Canada we say First Nations. I'm not quite sure what they say in America that is the correct term, so I didn't want to say the wrong thing. But I have a deep, deep love and respect for this culture. And again, I think it's my deep, deep love and respect and connection to the land I was born. So, that's it. All right. Those were my top 7 oracle decks of 2019. And the ones that surprised, and part of those were some that surprised me. Thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.